Welcome back, everybody. You got Will and I Man here from the Block Runner MetaZone, Rovi and MScribe. And today, we're going to be talking about some Bitcoin DeFi.
Yeah, man. Can the Bitcoin ecosystem come back, really, is what we're kind of trying to figure out.
Yeah, I think the overall sentiment in all of crypto is a little down.
For sure.
Numbers are still going down a little bit.
Yeah, Bitcoin's pretty not very exciting either.
Yeah.
Kind of lingering around.
Yeah, it's not.
We got, September rate cuts, I guess. Maybe that's a catalyst, but...
Yeah, I heard the rumors are at 1%, not 0.25%.
Yeah, rumors are rumors, right?
Yeah.
Nothing matters until the day comes. But nonetheless, in context of the Bitcoin ecosystem, something we've kind of
we know a little bit about.
But haven't been talking about as much recently, right?
Yeah, that's true.
For a lot of reasons.
Yeah, it's slow.
It's so slow.
Yeah, let's look at some numbers.
Yeah.
So let's start with Ordinals, and we covered Ordinals February 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Over here, this is like a little spec bump here.
Yeah, we're back in Specsville, by the way. But yeah.
Yeah.
We started in Specsville and we ended up in Specsville. Who would have thunk?
Yeah,
right?
So we saw this, and all the chains through all the lands copied Ordinals. They had inscriptions of all kinds of flavors. Mm-hmm. And then now it just kind of died off, and there's been very little inscriptions. However, we're at 105 million total inscriptions, which is quite the milestone.
Which is not what's being reflected there, because these dashboards don't even update their data anymore. That's how...
No, they do not.
That's how off the radar the Bitcoin ecosystem has become, which for a lot of us who've been tracking this for the last couple of years, it's a sad sight to see, right? Because there's so much hope and prospects to the thesis of building things, initially building things on Bitcoin, like Ordinals is a meta protocol actually tapped into Bitcoin, right, through the Taproot upgrade itself, right?
Yeah, correct.
Now there's emerging thesis of building things around Bitcoin or building things
off of Bitcoin.
But with the use of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's like a new, I guess, approach, right? Or
yeah.
Not even new.
It's the only way to do it, really.
Well, yeah, I guess it's a way to do it that may be much more compatibility aligned to what we're witnessing in the institutional level, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we'll break that down.
Yeah, so part of Bitcoin and Ordinals is runes. So hard to say whether these values are accurate.
Yeah, but scroll down, you'll see the same thing. More charts of Specsville activity.
Yeah, deadness.
Yeah, man. Another thing, right? That was, architected by the same creator of the Ordinals protocol. So got a lot of people excited back in the day. We've keep getting inquiries from people. It's like, when is this stuff going to come back? When are my bags going to get rescued? Yeah. There's no real clear-cut answer to that other than, cross your fingers and hope somebody creates something of notable interest out of these tech primitives, right?
Yeah.
That's really the only thing that could bring it back.
And one of those creators is Odin.fun. And their volume has increased, 8,000 BTC in volume, in total volume.
Yeah, and keep in mind, they've been experiencing quite the gauntlet of hacks. Right?
Yeah, a turmoil a little bit.
Yeah, man. Talking about tremendous losses and recoveries. And the result of that is, I guess, a loyal user base, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And Bob, who's the creator of Odin.fun, he's got his own thesis, which I think is aligned with the larger community of Bitcoin's thesis as well, is that if you bring DeFi to Bitcoin, you unlock essentially $1.3 trillion in potential volumes.
Specifically DEX volume, right?
Yeah, and so this value comes from, if you analyze ETH, Sol, and Hype and their DEX activity, it's about 55% of their total market cap. And so if you apply this value to Bitcoin, you're basically unlocking 1.3 trillion in volume.
That's monthly, he says, right? Monthly DEX volume.
Yeah, monthly.
Sheesh.
Yeah, that's insane.
So sounds good coming from somebody building, a DEX or who has built a DEX.
Yeah.
to support a meta protocol, a fungible token meta protocol that's built on Bitcoin, right? So it's one of the reasons why we paid attention to the Bitcoin ecosystem, even in those early days, the early Spexville days before the big, surges in interest.
Yeah, as soon as we understood ordinals and understanding Bitcoin, anything that you build on Bitcoin, we thought would be big.
Yeah, at least it has the potential to become very big, right?
Yeah, that's why we were able to find ordinals so early and have conviction in it early.
Yeah.
And yeah, things slow down. So, all right, so let's take a look here. BRC 2.0, that's on Mainnet now, on Bitcoin Mainnet. So finally, and we have a link here by Jern who breaks down what BRC 2.0 is and its potential. So definitely take a look.
Yeah, here we go again. Well,
yeah,
this isn't exactly.
Yeah, this is basically projecting. This is BRC 20, but this is BRC 2.0 potential, right? So you could say that here's like DeFi and crypto DeFi, and here's Bitcoin.
Correct.
Right. So this is a very common way to kind of explain that.
Yeah.
Another one, Spark. They raised about 175 million 3 years ago, and finally Spark is on Mainnet as well. So it's the fastest, cheapest, most UX friendly way to build financial apps and launch assets on Bitcoin. Okay, so we're gonna run through some of this stuff here, and
you missed the most important part, dude. Who's in the comments?
Oh yeah, so Michael Saylor. He put a
that's your god, dude. That's
electricity
your guy.
bolt.
What do you have to say about your god's, nod of approval here?
Well, because he commented, I'm assuming he's an investor.
Maybe. Or he's just like, he's just that into the Bitcoin ecosystem, right?
No.
Yeah. Probably not.
He's
There's
probably an
some
investor.
financial motivation here,
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you said, these guys raised a significant chunk of money in 2022. This is before all the inflection of new awareness of that opportunity, right? As a result of ordinals, because that was deployed late 2022, early 2023.
That's right. Yeah.
So these guys they managed to build this conviction thesis in the absence of all that evidence that things should be built on Bitcoin, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's a viable thesis. It's viable.
Yeah. A16Z seems to agree.
Yeah, they have a ton of investors. So they have an ability for developers to get access to this stuff. So here it is. But what I found interesting was the manifesto.
I thought it was pretty interesting too.
Yeah. So when you sent it to me and you asked me, it's like, what do you think? When I hear manifesto, I feel like there's some sort of inspiration that you would gather when you read a manifesto.
Potentially.
Or some sort of underlying understanding of like the brain mechanics of the person who wrote the manifesto.
Yeah. Yeah, basically I was expecting a banger here. I don't know, just the word manifesto. Just seems like but I guess maybe we're just too overexposed to these narratives. So it's like, we've heard this before, right?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we get it. Bitcoin's cool. And, it needs to be cooler. So.
Yeah, I mean, I read it and first, not inspiring, which I don't know if that's what they were going for. But you're right. If we're too kind of overexposed to the whole Bitcoin ecosystem, this probably doesn't feel inspiring.
It's lacking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's lacking in vibes. You know what I mean? But that's not to say, I mean, it's like a total knock on the damn.
No, it's not. It's just
project.
I thought I was going to get like hyped to go and use Spark, but I wasn't really hyped.
Well, I mean, it made you ask the question, right? It's like, okay, it's like a stable coin, purpose-built L2 around Bitcoin. It's like, what does that actually mean, and what does that unlock opportunity-wise?
Yeah, so it turns out they're using some sort of UTXO kung fu to make it work, custodial, like self-custodial wallets, and you can do these signatures where it locks up that Bitcoin, and their backend system unlocks some sort of other service.
Are you sure? I think you're talking about Babylon.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I'm talking about Babylon, not Spark.
Yeah, dude. Read the docs, damn it.
Yeah. So, yeah, read the docs. So, yeah, here's that investment, $175 million. And good old Jeff, he's in the mix too, but in a different way.
Yeah, man, we haven't heard from Merlin in a while. Remember, Jeff was one of the like OG, like first movers, I guess, like in this L2. But not really. There were obviously prior ones like Stacks and others, but he went hard and fast.
Yeah, he was the fastest.
Yeah, he went from some like organic bitmap protocol, raised a bunch of money. He's like, all right, you know what? Let's build an L2.
Yeah.
Let's fork off some EVM technology to do that, and several $1 billion of migrated liquidity later, you've got the Merlin chain, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But here they are, kind of like embracing the institutional direction of Bitcoin itself,
of Treasuries.
And we've been asking, like, who's going to be the ones to step up and realize the opportunity there, right? You got all these companies just scooping up Bitcoin daily.
Yeah.
And, it's a very non-productive asset, right? It doesn't have the utility of Ethereum.
Correct. It doesn't. It's just
who's going to crack that?
Yeah. So here it is. Merlin Chain aims to manage over $1 billion worth of BTC Treasury assets for NASDAQ-listed companies by the end of 2025. We call this Institutional HODL Plus.
Damn, plus, dude.
Yeah. And so Merlin Chain is also actively collaborating with multiple NASDAQ-listed companies to establish a digital asset treasury based on the Merl token. And the first one, I think, is ICM.
So they're going to have their own shell company that's basically buying Merlin token, right? Is that what they're saying?
Yeah.
Wow. Damn, they're in there, dude.
Yeah.
See, Jeff's paying attention.
And not only that, it's got users. CIMG is going to be using Merlin to use 500 Bitcoin with.
It's $55 million.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big deal. You know, that's, again, who's going to be the ones to capitalize on this opportunity? Because as we know, not everybody's Michael Saylor, right? You don't have infinite cheat codes. You can't just spin up imaginary cogwheels and
cannot
sustain the ability to just stack more and more Bitcoin to have that perceivable MNAV premium to your treasury vehicle, right?
Yeah.
So the rest of them who don't have that superpower, they're going to have to get way fancier with like their yield strategies, right? So that's where DeFi really makes the most sense, right?
Yeah, yeah. So basically, lock up your Bitcoin, unlock it somewhere else, stake it, flip it, and reverse it. You get you get some interest on some yield on some shitcoin over here. You use that yield to buy Bitcoin, and now you got Bitcoin yield.
Yeah, and then good luck, public, disclosure agreements and such, trying to like explain what the hell happened in the internet funny money land. It's like, how did that just turn into like all that extra, value?
Yeah.
It's the magic of crypto, guys. Learn up.
Yeah.
Right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how's Merlin Chain doing? So it's up maybe like 50% or so from, say, last 3 months.
From its troughs.
Yeah, from its troughs. So it's doing pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, it's coming back to its original all-time high. I think, again, because, this is definitely like an not really paid attention to category, I would say, sector category of the crypto space yet. It just is. Like, you don't hear many people on crypto Twitter talking about Bitcoin DeFi yet.
Yeah.
Right?
No, they're not.
I think a lot of people are aware of the digital asset treasury company, the phenomena that is occurring. But it's hard to kind of project what that leads to, right?
Yeah. I mean, Michael Saylor obviously leading the pack there, and they're providing so many products backed by Bitcoin that allow them to do all kinds of stuff like raise billions of dollars to continue buying the asset. So not everyone's going to be able to do that, but that's why everyone has to get creative here with how they create value from other treasury companies holding Bitcoin. So here's another one, Babylon Protocol. They have 6 billion in TVL of Bitcoin locked up.
Yeah, we talked about them almost a year ago when that 6 billion first arrived, and it really hasn't adjusted much since then. It's been pretty flat, right? So I guess, the Bitcoin DeFi thing hasn't truly kicked off yet, but we're still kind of waiting around to see if it's going to replicate what Ethereum did last cycle, right? It's like early days of Ethereum DeFi. Those TVL metrics are very shallow.
Yeah.
Until they weren't.
Until explosion.
All of a sudden, there was massive interest in this this yield phenomena, and I think it's possible to replicate that with Bitcoin, right?
No, I totally agree. Yeah, so Babylon is the one that I was referring to with the UTXO Kung Fu.
Yeah.
Where you use signatures and all this stuff to essentially custodial that Bitcoin, use these like signature process that they've developed, and then unlock some sort of asset on another chain to be able to get some yield on your Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Because there is no way to get yield on Bitcoin. Zero ways.
It's a proof of work network, dude. It's not proof of stake.
Yeah.
So the kung fu here is to use that time lock mechanism native to Bitcoin, and then I guess reissue that as a new staking component within these other competing proof of stake networks, and then that gives Bitcoin like collateral power to the existing networks that are secured by non-Bitcoin assets.
Yeah, and that's exactly what these institutional companies do, like Coinbase Collateral for your Bitcoin.
Yeah.
They lock up your Bitcoin and they unlock a wrapped version of it on Ethereum, and then that goes into a staking contract, and then they give you USDC for your loan.
Like a cut of it?
Yeah, it's basically
they have
whatever.
To keep some for themselves, right?
Well, it's the interest rate. So they earn the interest rates on that. So then Coinbase earns a little bit of that interest rate, and Morpho earns some of that interest rate.
Yeah.
And so everyone makes money. So okay. And Babylon, it's sitting at $115 million market cap. So if this works, I would say this is pretty undervalued.
Yeah, I would agree. It all depends on, again, inflows, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the metric to kind of gauge here. And in total, I mean, I think the last figure I heard was like close to 5% of all Bitcoin is locked up in these treasury vehicles. How much is that, dude? 5%? What's Bitcoin worth?
That's about 1 million Bitcoin.
Which is worth about $100 million? Oh, no, 100 billion?
100 billion, yeah.
So that's it. Like, that's like the top end range.
Yeah.
You would expect, right? It's like how much of that 100 and such billion dollars is actually starting to migrate into these protocols or these different system approaches to generating yield or whatever, right? Compounding the value of Bitcoin itself.
Yeah.
Without like introducing critical vulnerability risks, because that's going to be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
Right? Once people start losing their Bitcoin.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like there's two sort of ways to look at this. You're locking up Bitcoin and you're unlocking it to get some sort of yield somewhere else. But then what Michael Saylor's doing is in reverse. He's accumulating Bitcoin and providing a financial services below the compound annual growth rate of Bitcoin. So for example, he has 600,000 Bitcoin locked up. So he says, I'm going to create a new product that if you buy it, I'll give you 10% yield on it.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone with cash, instead of having a melting ice cube, just buy that asset and then we'll pay you 10%. And when they buy that asset, they can use that capital to buy more Bitcoin, which ends up paying that asset. So you have a 40% compound annual growth rate on your asset. You take 10%, you pay out your people, anyone holding this asset, and that's how you have.
So what is that asset? It's just another stock, right?
It's just another stock, yeah. It's a dividend-paying stock, 10% dividends.
So what's to say that's not another melting ice cube? Like,
the stock itself?
Yeah.
Well, it depends.
You're offloading that risk, right? The trade-off of.
Yeah. So think about it. So if Bitcoin has a 40% compound annual growth rate, that means on average it grows at 40%. Sometimes it goes 150%. Sometimes it crashes 80%.
Mm-hmm.
But if you smooth it out, it's around 40, 50%.
Yeah.
Right. And so they're taking the long-term growth of it and paying back as a dividend to those who are buying that stock.
Right.
So can that fail? It's like, yeah, it could fail as long as if Bitcoin doesn't grow at that rate. So long term, not 1 year, but longer term than that. So I feel like it's a top-down approach. What Michael Saylor is doing, he's offering products off of Bitcoin, and here and all these the other version is like using Bitcoin, locking it up, and then using that locked up collateral for something.
Yeah.
Some sort of yield, loan, that kind of stuff. So we have two different kind of markets here forming.
Yeah, and it's TBD, I guess, if which of these models will win out.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I just feel like it's just different products for different demographics, I would say.
yeah, I think maybe like the Ethereum angle of this will kind of squeak out first to kind of prove the viability and like the impactfulness of this. So that's what we've been kind of waiting for. You know, those of you still clinging onto your SBET bags or Bitminer bags, it's like, you know, when number go back up. I mean, I agree.
How do you buy, what was it, 9 billion or 6 billion?
Yeah, right now Bitminer Tom Lee's holding on like close to $10 billion worth of ETH that he's stacked in like less than 2 months.
Yeah, and his ETH has gone up like 30%, and then now it's down.
Yeah, and the company's stock market cap is fallen below.
Like
the MNAV of 1. So something's got to give, right? The model is not working as well as people originally anticipated. Who knows?
Not only that, Michael Saylor for Master, the stock, its all-time high was around $500 back when Bitcoin reached $94,000 for the first time a year ago.
Yeah.
And then now he's doubled the amount of Bitcoin in his coffers. He went from 300,000 now to 600,000, and his stock is at $300.
Weird, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So either we're like massive reflexive snapback.
Yeah.
In the valuation of these things,
or we're pre-explosion.
Yeah, or like it already like kind of is crumbling in real time. Who knows? That would be so. That in itself is reason to kind of like pay attention just for pure entertainment value, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for us. If you guys have any questions along the lines of Bitcoin DeFi, let us know in the comment section below. Appreciate you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.